Hello everyone and welcome back to Whiz. I'm PD here, Pradarshan, your host and your quiz master. So I'm here with the answers for yesterday's 5 questions and 5 more new questions for you today. So here is question number 1 for yesterday. Her name is Stefani Joanne Angelina Germanotta. She got her stage name from the Queen's song Radio Dash. Who are we talking about? So we are talking about the famous pop singer known as Lady Gaga. So we all have enjoyed her music, we all would have heard a lot of her songs, but I don't think a lot of us would have actually known her real name. So there is some information for you. Moving on to question number 2 for yesterday. US President James Monroe was first amongst 19th century leaders to legitimize this diplomacy. In his now famous 1823 message to the Congress, he warned all nations of the world that an armed intervention against offshore Latin American republics would be looked down upon as hostile action. Which diplomacy were we talking about? So the answer that we're looking for is the gunboat diplomacy. And now, moving on to question number 3 for yesterday. Who in 1952 became the first Vice President of India and in 1962 became the second President of independent India? So here's the answer. The answer we were looking for is Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan. So he was the first Vice President of India and the second President of independent India. Moving on to question number 4 for yesterday. Imperial Chemical Industries, or ICI, a British company that is now a subsidiary of Dutch conglomerate AkzoNobel, is the first client of this entity, which has its headquarters in Germany. First product is R/1 financial accounting software meant to be a part of real-time business data processing package. Name this German entity. So the German entity we were looking for is SAP or SAP. And now for our last question for yesterday. Name the war which was waged between the Great King and the British government in the mid-19th century, and they were triggered by the British government's imposition of a particular trade upon China. Which war are we talking about? So out of all the wars that you would have read about, this one is pretty much interesting because the name of this war is the Opium War. So those were our 5 questions for those were the 5 answers for yesterday's questions. Here are the 5 questions for you today. So here is question number 1. So you should be able to see an image right about now. The question is very simple. You would have seen the image, you would have seen all the smaller images. What the question is, who owns them? So who owns all these dogs that you saw in the image? Moving on to question number 2. Identify and what first. So identify who the person is in the image and what first. So you should be able to see the image right about now. And now, moving on to our third question for today. This is Victoria Woodhull. What first was achieved by her? So you should be able to see an image of Victoria Woodhull right about now. And now, for our fourth question for today. Who was the first billionaire to invest in a football club when he bought Chelsea from Ken Bates in the year 2003? So for all you football fans out there, I think this should be an easy one. So let's see how many of you all are able to crack this answer. And now moving on to our last question for today. I'm going to tell you a few words and I want you to connect all these words to a Tata company. So here goes. Soul Lines, Treasury of Tales, 1629 Hollywood Boulevard, Awadh, Espana, Banaras, Greece, and Egypt. So all of these words, I want you to connect all these words to a particular Tata company. So these were our 5 questions for today. Hope you enjoyed them. I hope to receive a lot of answers in the comments below. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. And I will be back tomorrow with 5 more answers and 5 more questions. So please stay tuned. Till then, please stay safe, take care, good night and keep quizzing.